Rise today, and this is the launch section. I'm joined by a very wonderful lady who is doing great things in your marketplace. You need to know, you need to learn. So grab your pen, grab your notebook. You're gonna be writing today. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well. Yes, it's good to see you this wonderful morning.
Good to see you too.
Yes. Tell us, who are you?
Well, I'm Patience Rain at Sango. I'm a director at Digitech Brands Limited. And basically, I'm into marketing and branding.
All right.
And my career path has led me to where I am right now. I've journeyed, I've worked with different companies, but of course in the same sector.
Yes.
Yes, so that is just a little bit about me. You'll get to know more about me as you go on.
Amazing, amazing. And I mean, in the spirit of what we've been talking about a few minutes ago, about this new system of education, whatever you studied in campus, is it related to what you're doing right now?
Definitely yes and no at the same time. What I would love to say is that I believe our education system is not really centered around what you're going to be end of the day, but it shapes you into something that close to basically what you're going to be. Because I believe you get into a course probably because your marks allowed, or rather the courses that you did in high school. So the university will select you based on that. But then when you get there, you realize, okay, yes, I used to pass mathematics, I'm here doing statistics. But then you realize that's not really your passion, but you are a mathematician. So I believe end of the day, the course that you're going to find yourself into, it may not really be in line with what you've done, but it will have a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say that you need to take opportunity of every course, or rather every opportunity that you have seriously, because end of the day it's going to align into your goals or even into the career that you're actually in.
Amazing. And now what you're talking about shaping the person, as opposed to just feeding them with information. Part of it is just getting into the social square and interact with as many people as you
and like
can.
a good example is myself. I'm an economics major, but then I worked for a bank, CBA Bank, different position, nothing to do with economics. I worked with a company in IT, Technobrain, nothing to do with economics. But right now, whatever I'm doing at Digitech Brands really needs my economics brain to actualize that vision.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you were employed once.
Yes.
And you decided to venture into something else. You decided to employ yourself and employ other people as well.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
While I was employed, I would say one company that really shaped my life is Technobrain, because I was able to work close to the CEO. So I was able to learn how to start a business, how to strategize and all that. And when I was ready to start my own company, then I knew what a CEO's role is and what how important it is when you're starting a company. So I think being in employment before starting a business is very crucial, because you're going to learn from the people who are there before you, so that you're not going to make mistakes that I've made, and you can also learn from what they could not achieve, so that you become a better person.
Amazing. Wow, something for our viewers to learn. I mean, at home you have had this. Whatever you're working at, stay close to the right people. People can help you build your own business and your own empire when it is your time. Amazing, amazing. So tell us about your empire. Tell us about Digitech Brands Limited.
All right, so Digitech Brands is a branding and marketing company. We started as a digital marketing company, but then along the way we did not want to support companies that were we did not want to support companies only in marketing their products without these companies necessarily understanding what are the core fundamentals of starting a business, what is the foundation. So that is now why we decided, you know what, we need to focus on branding, so that before we go into the market, first you need to understand, is your product going to serve the market or is it not? So it's very important to understand your product before you even think about the digital marketing. So that is now what we do to you, what we work with you through. So we take you through that process of building a brand. Then from there now we can enter into other things like marketing and how the product is going to go into the market.
And I want to mention about knowing your product, because this is the same thing you're marketing. It's the same thing you need to put out there for people to see. And many of our viewers will be asking, what exactly do we mean by branding?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So before I actually go to the definition of branding, I would love you to also figure out what's a brand, right? So basically, a brand is a representation of you to other people. And a brand is basically a feeling that people have, right? For example, I'll give you an example of Coca-Cola. Something I love telling people about when I'm doing trainings.
Yes.
When Coca-Cola is doing its advertisement, its story is that Coca-Cola is refreshing and it quenches thirst, right? But ideally, we know that's a lie. As in soda, soda actually naturally dehydrates the body, right?
Yes.
But because it says it refreshes and dehydrates, when you go out there and the sun is out and it's scorching, what do you think about? Coca-Cola. Yes. So that is a feeling that this company has created on people, right? So that every time you feel thirsty, you think about Coca-Cola, because a brand's supposed to be a feeling. Now, branding is that idea of creating a story and a strategy that is going to touch people's hearts, that is going to create a certain feeling when they think about your brand.
Amazing.
So
you remind me of you remind me of one of their products that has a tagline, "Obey your thirst."
Exactly.
But as you say, in real sense, when you take it, you realize that you haven't obeyed your thirst.
And a brand has different definitions to so many people. Some people would say a brand is a logo. Some people would say it's the colors. But end of the day, if it's not bringing a certain feeling to people, then it's not a brand.
It's a perception people have of you, right?
Yes. That's why when you go to eateries, there's a certain color that people paint on their eateries to attract a certain group of people. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So now we go back to this question. What is branding? And how do you do it as a company?
Okay.
What is branding?
Okay, so I would put branding very simple because I know people would have so many definitions. For us, branding is creating a story and a strategy that is going to bring a story out, or rather bring a certain feeling out there. Okay, for example, Amazon. When Amazon was started, it was called relentless.com. Did you know about that?
No. Just no.
It was called relentless.com, and the core business of Amazon was actually to buy out other businesses, right? But now when they started, they realized this strategy is not really bringing us the income that we wanted. So they changed their story, and their story was it's the earth's largest store, or rather warehouse, right? And what was the strategy to the customer? Their strategy was they spoke about delivery, they spoke about trust, and they spoke about effectiveness, right? So you know that if you want to buy a product from Amazon, it's actually also about low cost. You know, like if I'm buying a laptop from a shop in Amazon, Amazon will always be cheaper.
Yes, definitely.
And you're sure that there's trust because your product will be delivered. And then less time of deliverable. So now that is their strategy.
And actually, also the fact that they check on the quality. Quality inspection is really dope in Amazon.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So that is part of strategy. And then now, of course, the colors and the logos and how to go to market. So all those things fall under a brand because a brand is what you create, like a trust and a feeling towards people. So it's a lot of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Story and strategy.
Yeah.
Amazing. So your operations have been in the country and out of the country. You've stretched. Now you're stretching into Africa. Now you're in Africa. You're not just in Kenya. You're in Africa as a whole, as a continent. Tell us how the operation is. How you need to inspire someone, because I'm proud of what you're doing personally, and just inspire somebody. How are you doing it in Africa?
Okay.
Yes.
So when we came into the market and we were doing digital marketing, we realized there are so many companies doing the same. And still, there are so many companies falling out, even after having digital marketing practices within, right? But then, so for us, we did a research to understand why are these companies falling out. Then we realized the one thing that Africa is not intentional about is actually their brand. right? So we decided, you know what, let us walk into building sustainable brands that are going to be sustained over generations to come, right? So the reason why we want to penetrate into Africa and other African countries, we believe that this product is not only needed in Africa, in Kenya, sorry.
Kenya,
it also needed across Africa because African businesses are really struggling. Right?
Yes.
And we want to train them on how even to use lower resources for you to be able to beat the big boys.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically we want to penetrate the whole of Africa to provide our services and also to educate people on how to sustain brands.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. And again, I'm really proud of what you're doing. And I want us to paint a picture, of course, for our viewers back home, so that they can get to understand what exactly you do on the ground, rather. So I would give an example. I'm very passionate about music, and let's say this guy comes up and he wants to put up a music business. He wants to manage artists, let's say, for example. What are the key things that you teach to people in terms of them putting themselves out there, and of course looking at story, looking at strategy and perception of how people will view them?
Okay.
In this particular case study.
Okay. So like the same way it's very important to build a corporate brand for a business, it's also very important and key to build a personal brand, right? How you represent yourself out there as an artist is what is going to attract people to you, right? So what we've been training people, basically we've trained a lot of B2B people, especially consultants, entrepreneurs, and even job seekers.
Yes.
We've been training them on how to position themselves as brands on LinkedIn. In fact, how to work on your image, even your own image, how you dress, how you look, what you're saying, the story you're saying, the content you're putting out there. Because you see, everything that you put out there, people believe that is about you. I don't believe in the notion that who I am on Facebook is not who I am on LinkedIn. Whatever picture you build yourself is what people are going to capture, and that's what people are going to use to brand you.
And
because again, it's how people see you that is your brand, right?
And visual images have lasting memories, right?
Yes. So like this Saturday we also have such kind of a training where we are going to train people on personal branding, especially job seekers.
Wow.
Like I know there are people who apply a lot of jobs and they are wondering, why can't I be found by HRs? Trust you me, with this kind of training, you will get recruiters knocking your door, not you knocking the doors. Yes.
Wow.
And we'll train you about LinkedIn and everything. So basically it's all about personal branding. And I'm not really trying to sell you that product, but I'm trying to say that how you brand yourself as a person is very important to the kind of career that you're in.
Definitely.
Yes.
I am so happy when you mention now the job seekers as well, because we have so many job seekers right now in the country, and they need to understand how to position themselves, how to make their perception better, how the world perceives them in terms of how they carry themselves around. And towards the end of this conversation, of course, I'm going to be giving you an opportunity to say where that will be, so that people can come and get help, because I believe the most important thing about speaking to people and being passionate about people is helping people solve their problems day at a time.
Yeah, and it doesn't only apply to job seekers, even you as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
What will make people buy your product and not that other person's product? Yeah.
Amazing. And we just, I personally would want to be there to, of course, so I can help more, because I'm very passionate about people. So I can maybe be mentored also to mentor other people.
Definitely. Amazing, I would love to see you.
Amazing. So tell us about the branding practices you have and the big 4 companies as well.
Okay. So there are so many branding practices that you can practice, but the most important is number 1, you need to have a definition of what your company or your product or who you are, right? You need to know what you're selling out there. I would say, for example, let me not even use a company. I would say, for example, you, Martin, you are a product. Every single day you're selling something to other people. So you need to understand, what do you want people to buy from you? What do you want people to buy you into? Right? Which kind of people do you want to slide into your DM? So have a definition of the product that you want to put out there. Understand your market. Don't even rush into investing your money. Understand the product. Is it able to get into the market and sell? Are you solving a crisis? If you're not solving any problem in the society, please don't start that business.
What I hear in the back of my mind is that before you step into all this, you need to have a vision of where you're going.
Yes.
You need to understand the purpose of your business or your job or your career. You need to understand everything before you step. Not basically everything, but most of the things, the fundamental things, before you step in, right?
Yeah, and then also number 2, the other very important is to understand who your customer is. For example, if your customers are women, there's certain colors that relate to women as opposed to men, all right? So understand who your customer is so that even when you're coming up with your colors, your logo and all that, it's relatable. So that people don't come to your site, they want to buy food, and it's like you're selling something different, all right? Then once you've figured out that, then have customer service. Create a customer service. Like, are your products able to be delivered on time? Are you able to respond to clients' queries? Are you able to support the customer to the end? If you're not able to provide whatever you want to sell, at the scheduled time, please don't do it. Okay, even learn from Amazon, by the way. Don't do it. The other day I was just watching these jokes from George Kagwe about the M-Pesa lady. It's so true. I'm sure most of us have really been frustrated by M-Pesa ladies. That is a kind of customer service. So if your team does not have motivation to provide good customer service, then you're on the wrong track.
Wow.
So those are just a few practices that you can to build a proper brand.
That brings me a very, very good question. Now you mentioned something that's very close to my heart. I get irritated when I go to people who are supposed to provide services to me, and the customer service is just down. It's just down. So how you have people who are working under you? How do you motivate them to make sure that these people are able now to handle people well, handle customers well? Because you also have many customers now who are going to be other people who have customers as well. How do you treat your people, your customers?
Okay. At Digitech Brands, we are like a family. And like in a family, you're able to discuss everything and share everything minus nothing. So we've created that environment where people can raise their concerns, where we can communicate. We have a lot of get-together. We go out for lunches and all that stuff. And we also do have in-house trainings because trainings are very important, where you're trying to correct your team on proper dress code, you're trying to correct your team on proper how to support clients kindly, because not all clients are kind, but always know your customers are always right.
Always right,
So we have such kind of trainings, and that has really helped us to grow.
Amazing. Now my director tells me that we don't have much time, so we're gonna go on a marathon here, because there are very important questions I need to ask you today. And what are the steps to build sustainable businesses in Africa? Tell us about this. What are the steps to building these sustainable businesses? Because this is what you're passionate about. Tell us, what are these steps? As you mentor somebody on TV right now.
So the most important step I would go with, I'm a big fan of the big 4 companies, that is Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Apple. So I've really understood their strategies and their journeys. And one thing that Amazon is always right about is that when you're trying to start a business, first of all, don't pour all the investments into it. First of all, build a product. Be sure that this product can sell. Test it in the market before even investing in it. And so many businesses are actually struggling because they have started something and they realize that they cannot sustain it. And they drop out. Yet it's a really good idea, right? And then once you've started, make sure to protect your businesses. Most African businesses are not protected. And that's why you also have generic people coming in and doing the same thing and actually excelling because they do have the resources. Always patent a product that you feel this is very original. And then when you're even looking for funding, you need to have like your projections, you need to have like your breakdown. You don't just go and look for funding and ask for anything or invite anybody in-house. You need to find value in whatever you are investing in.
Definitely. So the next question I would want us to talk about, the next issue I'd want us to talk about is, of course, digital transformation as we look in towards building these companies. Tell us about digital transformation, because it's something that people hear very often, but they're not familiar with the fundamentals of digital transformation. Tell us about this.
All right. We all know that there's been a lot of digital eruption and businesses are changing how they're operating. And so many businesses in Kenya are actually downsizing because of this thing about digitalization of everything, right?
Yes.
And because of that, people need to be very intentional about trying to change with change, because change is coming very fast. And if you're not careful, if you're not ready, you're going to be knocked out.
Yes.
Yeah. So digital transformation is going to change businesses in Kenya very fast. And even Microsoft the other day, it opened an education center.
Wow.
It means that things are going to change, and the technology in Africa especially is changing rapidly. And probably even agriculture is going to be digitalized. Everything is changing. So that is where we are headed. So even as you're thinking about businesses, think about those lines. Don't be traditional. We are getting out of that space.
Yes, definitely. And of course, because of time, we need to wind this up. And I'm so happy that you came. And I believe you have inspired a number of people in terms of just being ready to start something, not just business, your career path and everything. I want you to look at this particular camera. Talk to us about yourself. Give us your Twitter handles, your Facebook handles, everything about you. Talk briefly about your event and where people can find you, so that you keep inspiring more people.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm back again. So we are going to have a LinkedIn training workshop. We are going to train people on personal branding. It will be happening at Nairobi Garage this coming Saturday, the 21st. And I hope to see you there. To follow me on my personal account, it's Patience at Sango Rain on Facebook. And you can also follow Digitech Brands on all our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram handles. And definitely you can drop us an email at our website at www.digitechbrands.com. Yes.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming here today and inspiring our people who are watching us today.
Yes.
And of course, our wonderful viewer, as you continue to listen to what we have to offer here at KUTV Rise today, you have been inspired. I believe you have been inspired, because I have been inspired to make certain steps and to think about things about my life. So as we take a short break, I'd love you to think about this, and you can find her on our social media handles. Talk to her, and of course, let her inspire you more. And even as we look to build more and more in this current state, you know, in Kenya we have an unemployment state right now. So many young people are not employed, and so many people are looking for jobs and business opportunities. You need to know how to start, and how to go, and how to finish, if you have to finish before you start. So, of course, if we take a short break, we'll be right back with Vin, and later we'll be having Richie Tech Manenos, and we'll be right back after this short break. Thank you so much.
Your weekly automotive program that provides you with information about the transport industry is now changing viewing time. Revit Motor Show will now air at 8 p.m. on Saturday rather than the usual 3:30 p.m. See you then. Drive safe.
Join the APRT SACCO for as little as 100 Kenya shillings. You can borrow up to 3 times your savings with a 2% monthly bonus. You also stand a chance to win 2 million Kenya shillings. Go to your M-Pesa till number 666741 and enter your amount. Reach us on 0725 654 456 or 0722 438 198. Join, Borrow, earn, win. APRT SACCO, financially transforming Africa together.
Is it how you frame it? How you edit? Or perhaps how you get that action movie done? Catch Silver Screen